The keepers will prepare their night areas so they have a safe, clean, and comfortable place to rest overnight. Now, like I said, we are going to see more of the deer and the antelope a little bit later, but right now we're going to leave this first meadow and enter our next area where we have a species that was on the verge of extinction. In fact, you may be able to see in between these guys a horse that's a little bit smaller and a little bit paler than the rest of them, and that's our foal that was born over the winter season just about 4 months ago. And to date, we've had over 55 Przewalski horse foals born here at the Bronx Zoo since receiving our first animals in 1902.
Wait, I think
And
I
we
have
have a
one.
little more
Wait!
information about the Przewalski horse from one of our coordinators, Jonathan Slatt, as well.
Hey guys, here's some wipes.
Jonathan Slatt from the Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth. My job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. The Przewalski horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s.
They out here, so they climb up to get a little exercise. So trust me, they can use every square of those impressive horns. They can fight off just about any predator, even a tiger. And so the main threats to the gaur these days are instead major habitat losses due to humans over farming, as well as bovine diseases transmitted from our more domestic cattle, like cows.
Those are big.
And those impressive horns of theirs are actually an indicator for their sex, as female gaur have horns that point straight up. Unsurprisingly, the male gaur are substantially larger than our females, but it's just a lot more interesting to go based off their horns. And you'll notice that a majority of their horns do curve inwards, so our herd here at the Bronx Zoo is primarily female. And I also have a little more insight about the gaur as well from one of our zookeepers, Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave, a wild animal keeper here in Wild Asia. When the Bronx Zoo received 2 female and 1 male gaur from the San Diego Zoo.
Now, tiger stripes do provide excellent camouflage, so sometimes they're a little bit difficult to spot. They are so secretive that even professional researchers struggle to find them out in the wild at times. So see if you can spot our tiger in here today. Now, tigers hunt a variety of ambushes. He's just taking a nap in the grass. So it's a little tough to see him, but that guy right there is our male Amur or Siberian tiger, Anakin. And of the 2 subspecies of tiger that we have here at the Bronx Zoo, the Amur and the Malayan, the Amur are the larger. Now, it's difficult to tell that he's actually the larger of our tigers since we only have one of them in this enclosure at a time, and he's kind of covered up by those bushes. But trust me, he is a lot larger than our other tiger. Now, we only have one of them in here at a time because they are a solitary species and live alone out in the wild, so it's in their best interest to be in here all by themselves since they can be rather territorial as well. Trust me, they do prefer it this way. And the WCS has been a leader in tiger conservation, and our scientists in the field tells us that there is reason to be hopeful that tigers are meeting the odds of extinction. And the WCS partners with 6 other conservation groups. Peacocks and the peahens, the females, have more of a gray-brown body. They have a green neck, and they don't have those long feathers on the back. Now, right now, it is the mating season for the peafowl, so a lot of those males are, and that's just to attract the females. So in the coming months, you'll see little pea chicks following the peahens, as well as those long feathers from the males lying on the ground around the zoo as they lose those feathers once they mate for the season. And the peafowl are the national bird of India. We have them all over the zoo, so you'll see them throughout the rest of this tour as well. If you follow this dirt path down to the back of the enclosure here, you might see some spotted.
Look at that one.
And that's everything that we had in that first meadow, so you guys didn't miss anything. You got to see everything right here at the end, at the back end of their enclosure. So right now we're going to turn this corner up ahead so we can see our next animal. And our next animal has possible to miss. She is one of the world's largest land mammals. She's our Asian elephant, Happy. She's walking towards us right now. Now, African and Asian elephants are iconic animals worldwide, as we all know. Unfortunately, though, they are struggling in the wild. And Asian elephants can weigh more than 10,000 pounds, so they have to eat a lot of vegetation. For example, our elephants can eat as much as 200 pounds of hay and drink 60 gallons of water each day. And take a close look at her trunk if you can. There are more than 40,000 muscles in there. And Asian elephants have a unique finger-like adaptation that allow them to gently pick up a blade of grass. Or if you're seeing her pick up that hay off the ground. Or she can also use those 40,000 muscles to tear off entire tree branches with tremendous force. So it's truly an incredible tool for them. Our elephants also get a lot of personal attention here at the Bronx Zoo, including baths and pedicures on the regular. And that large tree stump with the divots by the pool of water is essentially an elephant-sized back scratcher, and we oftentimes use it for enrichment, as we'll put fruits and vegetables in the divots so they can reach their trunks up and grab them. And a little fun fact about Happy is that Happy's actually over 50 years old, so she's been here for quite a while. Now in a second here, we're going to start to leave our elephant zone behind, and we're going to enter this next area right here where we have another one. Now Priya's a little further up ahead in this enclosure. She's at the second mud wallow, so it's going to take us a bit. We'll see her very shortly. But many people describe rhinos as armor-plated. However, they're actually covered in a layer of skin that just has a lot of folds. And though their skin looks thick and tough, it is in fact very sensitive.
Rhinoplasty.
And when that baby is born, it will, so they're pretty big upon birth. And Priya right there is actually a mother. She had a baby named Patrick, who used to come out with her all the time, but he was recently moved to another facility, another zoo, to aid in that breeding program for our species survival plan. And that second mud wallow that you saw her standing next to is actually our original mud wallow from when we opened Wild Asia in 1977. So plenty of rhinos like Priya have stopped for their female, where we currently care for a variety of other deer and antelope species different to the ones from our first meadow, so it's not the same thing.
Why are you copying me?
Now, majority of them take us a second to really get to see the majority of them, but you might see a couple very small deer sprinkled about in this area, and any small deer you see are not babies. They are fully grown adult deer. It's a little bit difficult to see them because they're all lying down in the shade behind all of these trees, so it's kind of tough to see them. But they get their name from the male's coloration, actually, as Nilgai means blue bull in Hindi, and the males have a bluish-gray color, but we only have females, so none of them really have that coloration. Now kind of close to the train, we have some of these very average-looking deer. They're just a little bit taller than our hog deer, and these are our brow antler deer. They get their name from the male's antlers, which curves forward towards the deer's brow, hence the name. And they're sometimes also known as Elk's deer. They look pretty similar to the ones we have in New York, but of course they're from Asia, and they're an entirely different species. Now all the way in the back by the back fence, we have some very dark brown large deer, and those are some of our sandbar deer. They have left corner right here between these rocks, sitting in the leaves. So I would personally advise to follow this fence, this back fence around the perimeter if you'd like to see them. A lot of them hide, so people tend to miss them because they blended well with their environment, so it's a bit of an I spy game, so keep your eye. So back there, they get a lot of shade and the coolness of the decaying leaves, so that's why they're over there, but people tend to miss them because they do blend in well, but it's okay if you do. They also have a lot of autonomy. They get to choose whether they're out or not. They have an indoor enclosure, so when it's really, really hot, because they prefer colder weather, they can just choose to go in and out as they please. Most of the time, they'll choose to be in, just need a fly out to this area. They're not technically part of the zoo, but I like to point them out. And right here, this is where we have our two wild goat species, our markhor and our Himalayan tar. There's one standing on the tree right there. That's a female. Female markhor. Now you're picking up and born in different intervals, so you're going to see a ton of them. They're very small, they're very cute. Now right here, you're going to see some goats that have horns slightly longer and shaggier coat with a deep middle parting down their back. And those are some of our Himalayan tar. Now we only have 3 Himalayan tar, and they're all female, so that's a majority of the breed. Now the markhor, as I was talking about in the beginning, they're the ones that you're primarily seeing in this area. They have those curly corkscrew-like horns, and they are the largest of the wild goats. The male markhor have long mane-like hair around their neck that kind of resembles a beard, and their horns can be up to 5 feet long. The female markhor have similarly shaped horns, but they're not quite as long, and they only have a small tuft of fur under their chin. The markhor are also known for primarily grazing on grasses, but they've also been known to climb trees to reach fresh leaves, which is why you saw one of them just standing on a tree. They tend to do that sometimes. So some of these trees are wrapped in wire because of how much they climb the trees. It's to protect them, as they also scratch up against them when they get a little itchy, and they rip off a ton of the bark. So for us, it's a lot less box on the tree stumps, and they can sometimes even hop some of these fences. But they do that just for fun and to get exercise, a bunch of parkour in this area. That's how they entertain themselves in here. Now, I'm not going to pretend that you didn't just see a tree set up right there like there was supposed to be an animal there. There is. However, it is very, very hot today, so our animal is not out, like Conservation Society or WCS. And in addition to managing these 5 parks in New York City, the Bronx Zoo, the New York Aquarium, the Central Park Zoo, the Queens Zoo, and the Prospect Park Zoo, the WCS also has scientists working out in the field that warn that trees. So they work tirelessly to find solutions and ensure the survival of endangered wildlife worldwide. And you do your part and help us help wildlife just by being here today. So thank you all. Any contribution you make towards this should go out.
Okay guys, right now I am on the carousel and this is my last ride before the video ends. So thanks for watching this video today and I hope you have a great